Mr. Willman.
All right, good morning, board. So this morning we wanted to provide a quick update on kind of where we believe we're going to end the 23-24 year, and then based off of those projections, how it influenced our final steps towards developing our 24-25 budget, and then kind of we'll walk through after that just kind of what the results of the financial model and those conversations. So back in March, we had presented our Budget Amendment 3, which the board approved, which we reflected an anticipated $252,000 surplus based off of kind of now that we're wrapping up the year and getting close to year end. We believe that we'll add an additional $161,000 of surplus, getting us to the $414,000 surplus for the year. Considering some of the challenges that we faced early on in the year with enrollment, but then also the administrative change to the student attendance accounting handbook, we maintained kind of our efficient and opportunistic mindset that we developed during the 2021 financial challenges, and we explored. We strategically held back vacant positions that created some favorability. We sought out and continue to look for grant funding that will support our current maintenance and operations. And then we also strategically looked at our cash and holding onto our cash to improve our investment income. And then we continue to look at how we can be more efficient in our operations, such as the improvements that we've made with how we go about facility rentals. So when we look at all this and all the work that we have done, we had about a $2 million swing. So the deficit that was presented to us early on with enrollment and the student accounting or student attendance accounting handbook was of roughly $1.6 million. So we had about a $2 million swing in savings to get us to that $414,000 surplus. So the current year results, it does influence how we approach in our discussions with the budget, the final steps of our budget development. As we shared, sorry, let me get this going. So as we have shared throughout the whole entire process, due to the current challenges with no increase in the basic allotment and our declining enrollment, we've identified additional operating efficiencies resulting in cost savings of $1.8 million annually. And then we also shared that back in last month during the May regular board meeting that we were seeing an increase in our medical benefits of roughly about 11% to 11.37%, depending on the employee choices. And then the results of the conversation that we had during the May regular board meeting, we implemented a $25 monthly increase of the contribution, which resulted in the fund balance going from 90 days to 88 days and 26. But based off of our increase in surplus for the current year, we went back and looked and made some adjustments to our assumptions in our budget. So one of the adjustments we made is we shared about the property and liability insurance decrease. So it previously was at 35%. It resulted, once we get the final amounts, it resulted in only a 16.3% increase. We've also looked at, we're monitoring on a regular basis where we stand with enrollment for next year. So we did make an adjustment to our enrollment in our budget. We increased it by roughly 21 students. With that increase, though, it did result in needing 2 additional staff. So it's pretty much a wash. Even though enrollment increased, we did have to add to maintain our ratios, add 2 staff along with that. And then we're also...
Thomas?
Yeah.
Where did those 21 students come from?
They are mainly what we're seeing is coming from the resident side of things and not the Lovejoy scholars. Great question. And then we're also increasing the medical contribution from $25 per month to $50 per month.
Thomas, can you clarify that would be in addition to what we're already contributing as an employer?
Right, in addition, right. So we're increasing based off of our current contribution, we're increasing $50 total.
Did you find that that would mostly absorb the cost increase to those plans for our employees?
Yes, it does. So basically, for a majority of our employees that are on the individual plan, that they're just themselves, it will cover a majority, 99% of the cost. So the 4% and 2% increase, they'll see full benefit. Now, it'll vary based off of if you have just your kids or if you're the full family on your plan on how much it covers. Great question. So based off of kind of based off of everything that we know as of right now, and the assumptions that we have, we're still maintaining the 88 days in 26. We're still going to have a deficit budget in 25 and 26, but we're still maintaining the 88 days. So as far as next steps, just in preparation for the June 17th board meeting, just want to give you an update on the different items that we'll be putting in front of you for you to consider for approval. So annually, we always bring forth the final budget amendment for the current year. So we'll bring forth the 23-24 based off of what we just presented today. And then we'll be adopting or proposing for your approval the 24-25 budget for the M&O, student nutrition, and the INS side. We're also going to bring forth, as we discussed last month, that we're going to increase the meal rate for student nutrition. So we'll bring forth for you to consider to approve for that. And then as part of the budget adoption, we'll be adopting a tax rate, but the tax rate will be based off of current tax rate. And then we'll bring forth the final approval during the August board meeting once we know the final maximum compressed rate. And then finally, we'll bring forth the compensation plan for you to consider for approval.
Mr. Willman, can you remind me, was the meal rate increase, if my recollection serves, it was 25 cents a meal?
That's correct,
Okay.
25 cents per meal.
I'll just add some comments. I know this is the end of well, I know you're doing this all the time, but this is sort of the end of a 7th-month budget workshop, right, where we've taken a look at what it could have looked like, and then we've very carefully and thoughtfully thought through the different levers that we would have available to us to have the result that we see here on the page, right, which is that we are going to be in a modeled, healthy position through the end of 26, very close to our target, and there's lots going to happen between now and then. And I think that I just like to acknowledge the work and the careful thought process and the fiduciary view of keeping this district in a whole position so that we can do what we do to serve kids. So thank you.
Thank you.
Again, the top line numbers are assuming no change in any kind of basic allotment plus other things from the state.
Right.
Because they haven't even met yet, and if they do pass something, that probably wouldn't happen for a few more years.
That's correct. This just assumes that it maintains the same level of funding at the state level. Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, next item is announcements. There are no announcements, and therefore we are adjourned.